When former President Donald Trump shocked the political world by revealing his first major trade agreement after returning to the spotlight, the reaction was nothing short of explosive. And the frenzy among his most loyal MAGA followers was off the charts, sending social media into a wildfire of praise, disbelief, and, frankly, some of the most hilarious meltdown moments the internet has seen in recent memory. It all started when Trump, in a surprise press conference that blindsided even seasoned political analysts, announced a groundbreaking trade deal with an unexpected partner that critics initially dismissed as a long shot, but supporters hailed as a masterstroke of negotiation savvy that could redefine America's economic position on the global stage. The details of the agreement revealed a complex framework aimed at bolstering domestic manufacturing, safeguarding intellectual property rights, and opening up new markets that were once thought unreachable under previous administrations. This wasn't just your average trade deal. It was being touted as a potential game changer, with the kind of boldness that Trump had promised during his first campaign, but seemed to put on pause during his presidency. Analysts immediately jumped in with mixed reviews, some applauding the strategic foresight and economic benefits, others skeptical about the feasibility and long-term impacts. The media frenzy was relentless, with news outlets from across the political spectrum scrambling to decode the implications, often spinning the story to fit their narratives. But what truly made this moment viral was the reaction from the MAGA base, many of whom took to Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok to celebrate the deal as evidence that their champion was back to making America great again in ways no one saw coming. Memes flooded in, some praising Trump as the deal genius, others parodying the dramatic U-turns of his political rivals, who now had to reckon with this new reality. However, it wasn't just celebratory cheers. Some MAGA supporters spiraled into conspiratorial territory, questioning whether the deal was truly Trump's or a deep state ploy to control the narrative. This chaotic mixture of genuine enthusiasm and wild speculation created a perfect viral storm, driving engagement through the roof. Meanwhile, political commentators debated how this agreement might impact Trump's legacy. Could it be the defining achievement of his post-presidency era, or just another controversial chapter in an already tumultuous political saga? The truth lies somewhere in between, as the deal symbolized both the unpredictability and the continued relevance of Trump's influence in shaping American policy, even from outside the White House. Adding a layer of intrigue, insiders hinted at behind-the-scenes negotiations that involved complex diplomacy and high-stakes bargaining that few expected Trump to navigate with such deftness, reigniting discussions about his unique approach to international relations. This moment captured the essence of Trump's polarizing effect. One hand saw a triumphant leader reclaiming the stage with bold moves, while the other saw a risky gamble that might unravel under scrutiny. But if there's one thing this trade deal guaranteed, it's that Trump remains a central figure in the political and economic conversation, capable of commanding attention and stirring passionate responses from every corner of the nation. The sheer volume of reactions, ranging from jubilant celebrations to frantic calls for fact-checking, demonstrated how modern politics is not just about policies, but about creating moments that resonate emotionally and virally with audiences worldwide. In this digital age, where a single tweet or announcement can trigger worldwide discourse, Trump's reveal was a textbook example of how to dominate headlines and social feeds simultaneously. The deal itself, while complex in its provisions, was summarized in simple, digestible talking points by Trump's team that emphasized job creation, American manufacturing pride, and a renewed focus on fair trade. Messages that resonated strongly with his core supporters, and even swayed some moderate observers. Yet, skeptics remained vocal, warning that the deal might exacerbate trade tensions with other global powers, or that the environmental and labor standards embedded within were insufficiently robust. The heated debates spilled over into opinion shows, editorial columns, and viral videos, creating a multi-layered conversation that only added fuel to the fire. And in true Trump fashion, the former president did not shy away from engaging directly with critics on social media, doubling down on his claims and challenging opponents to read the deal before making noise. This combative stance only amplified the public's fascination and kept the story trending for weeks, proving that in the arena of modern politics, controlling the narrative is as critical as policy itself. The trade deal's timing was also impeccable, coinciding with a period of economic uncertainty and geopolitical shifts, making it a focal point for discussions about America's future direction. Whether you saw it as a bold resurgence or a calculated spectacle, one thing was clear: Trump's announcement had reignited the MAGA movement's fervor and reminded the world why he remains a figure that can disrupt the status quo with a single statement. And as the digital world buzzed with memes, heated debates, and reaction videos, the larger question emerged: what does this mean for the upcoming elections, for America's alliances, and for the global economic order? This trade deal was not just a piece of policy, it was a cultural event, a viral moment that encapsulated the drama, unpredictability, and sheer spectacle that has become synonymous with Trump's brand of politics. And for the MAGA crowd, it was a rallying cry, a signal that their leader was back to rewriting the rules, leaving the rest of the nation watching with bated breath to see what comes next in this unfolding saga that blends politics, economics, and entertainment into one explosive package. The election of the new Pope, an event that in past generations would have been met with solemn respect and measured commentary, instead ignited an unprecedented digital firestorm among the MAGA faithful, whose reaction ranged from bewildered shock to downright unhinged conspiracy theorizing, proving once again how the intersection of religion, politics, and social media can unleash chaos unlike anything seen before. Almost immediately after, the white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel chimney, signaling the selection of the new pontiff. MAGA Twitter exploded, not with prayers or congratulations, but with a barrage of memes, wild speculation, and fringe theories that made even seasoned political observers raise their eyebrows in disbelief. Some declared the new pope to be a secret liberal plant, a globalist puppet installed to undermine American sovereignty, while others absurdly claimed he was part of a shadowy cabal conspiring against the MAGA movement and its sacred mission to make America great again, despite the fact that the Vatican and the MAGA worldview could hardly be more ideologically distant. These outlandish claims were often accompanied by hashtags such as Jewish Popegate, Jewish Deep Vatican, and MAGA Watch, transforming what should have been a dignified religious transition into a meme-driven battleground filled with GIFs, Photoshop fails, and viral videos that lampooned both the Pope's appearance and supposed political leanings. The bizarre spectacle quickly caught the attention of mainstream media, which seized on the story as a case study in how social media platforms amplify radical voices, pushing fringe narratives into the center of public discourse. In the midst of this, respected religious figures issued statements urging calm and respect for the papacy, reminding the world of the centuries-old traditions and spiritual gravitas that the election embodies. Yet, their calls were often drowned out by the cacophony of online outrage and misinformation that fed on emotional triggers and confirmation bias, further entrenching divisions within American society. A particularly hilarious yet telling moment came when MAGA influencers attempted to connect the Pope's gestures during his first public appearance to hidden hand signals, supposedly communicating allegiance to globalist elites. A theory quickly debunked, but nevertheless embraced by many, as irrefutable proof of a conspiracy too deep for the average person to grasp. This phenomenon, while absurd on the surface, underscored a much larger cultural trend: the craving among certain groups for narratives that simplify complex realities into clear good versus evil storylines. Dynamic social media algorithms have only accelerated by rewarding sensationalism over nuance. The resulting ecosystem became a hotbed for misinformation, where facts became malleable and belief trumped evidence, with some MAGA adherents even rejecting the Pope's authority outright, declaring allegiance instead to fringe Christian sects, or mixing their political ideology with conspiracy-driven spiritual warfare rhetoric. As this digital drama unfolded, it provided a fascinating, if deeply troubling, window into how religious reverence can be hijacked by partisan passions, turning a figure meant to symbolize unity and peace into yet another polarizing emblem in America's culture wars. Humorists and late-night hosts quickly seized the moment, mocking the over-the-top reactions and highlighting the absurdity of turning a centuries-old institution into a meme factory, while others lamented the erosion of respectful discourse in favor of outrage-driven entertainment. The sheer volume of content generated around the new Pope's election, from viral TikTok videos of MAGA followers decoding his every word, to YouTube rants accusing him of masterminding international plots, demonstrated the extent to which religious events have been subsumed into the spectacle economy of social media, where engagement metrics often outweigh truth or reverence. Yet beneath the laughter and shock lies a sobering reality. These digital echo chambers not only distort public understanding of religion, but also deepen societal fractures by pitting faith communities against each other along political lines, undermining centuries of religious diplomacy and ecumenical dialogue. Some commentators pointed out that the MAGA response was less about the Pope himself and more a reflection of broader anxieties about globalism, immigration, and the perceived loss of traditional values. Concerns that the new Pope's progressive stances on issues like climate change and social justice only seem to amplify in their minds. This nexus of religion and politics, intensified by the viral feedback loops of social media, created an environment ripe for misinformation and division, illustrating how sacred events can become battlegrounds for ideological warfare. In an ironic twist, the Vatican itself became aware of the online uproar and reportedly considered launching a digital diplomacy campaign to counteract the misinformation and foster a more accurate understanding of the Pope's mission, highlighting the new challenges religious institutions face in the age of viral content and 24/7 news cycles. Through all this, the MAGA movement's response to the new Pope became a cultural flashpoint, revealing both the power and peril of mixing deeply held beliefs with the high-octane world of social media politics, a phenomenon that will likely continue to shape public discourse for years to come. As the world watches this unprecedented spectacle unfold, it serves as a stark reminder that in today's hyper-connected society, even the most sacred and solemn moments can be transformed into viral phenomena, sometimes humorous, sometimes dangerous, but always reflective of the complex interplay between faith, identity, and digital culture in the 21st century. As the political circus that surrounds Marjorie Taylor Greene continues its relentless march, the latest stunt by the outspoken Congresswoman has once again sent shockwaves through social media and political spheres alike, adding another chapter to her seemingly endless catalogue of outrageous eyebrow-raising and downright perplexing antics, cementing her reputation as one of the most polarizing figures in American politics. This time, MTG decided to stir the pot by publicly doubling down on a conspiracy theory so outlandish that even some of her staunchest allies distanced themselves, sparking a viral frenzy of memes, parodies, and impassioned debates that flooded Twitter timelines, YouTube comments, and late-night monologues across the country. The controversy erupted when she posted a cryptic video claiming that a shadowy group of elites was orchestrating an elaborate plot to undermine the true American spirit by manipulating everything from education curricula to COVID-19 vaccine rollouts, framing it as a fight for the survival of the real America against a nefarious globalist cabal. Language and imagery that struck a nerve far beyond the usual political discourse and veered into the territory of outright fear-mongering and misinformation. This latest episode saw MTG accuse prominent figures, without any credible evidence, of being agents in a secret scheme to erode freedoms and promote a dystopian agenda, fueling the fires of division at a time when the nation already grapples with deep ideological fractures. Critics were quick to point out the reckless irresponsibility of these unfounded claims, emphasizing the damage such rhetoric does to public trust in institutions and to the fragile fabric of democracy itself. Social media exploded, with reactions ranging from incredulous laughter to outright horror, as comedians, commentators, and everyday citizens unleashed a tidal wave of responses mocking the sheer absurdity of the claims, yet also expressing concern about their potential to inspire real-world consequences, especially when amplified by the significant platform and influence that MTG commands. Clips of news anchors dissecting the statements became viral hits in their own right, with analysts highlighting the pattern of deliberate provocation that seems central to MTG's strategy, knowing full well that controversy breeds attention, and attention translates into political power in the age of viral outrage. Her base, however, largely stood by her, lauding her as a fearless truth-teller who dares to expose the hidden machinations of powerful elites, reinforcing the tribal loyalty that has propelled her career despite repeated scandals and bipartisan condemnation. This paradoxical dynamic, wherein a single figure simultaneously attracts ridicule and unwavering support, offers a fascinating case study in contemporary political media, showcasing how the boundaries between news, entertainment, and social media spectacle have blurred beyond recognition. Meanwhile, the broader political establishment found itself caught between condemnation and cautious distance, aware that engaging too directly risks further fueling the fire and giving MTG even more oxygen to her incendiary narrative. At the same time, her antics have inadvertently catalyzed a new wave of political engagement among younger voters and independents, many of whom are drawn not by agreement with her views, but by a desire to understand and combat the forces she represents. As the controversy unfolds, it also raises serious questions about the role of platforms, like Twitter and Facebook, in moderating content that borders on misinformation, and the ethical dilemmas faced by corporations in balancing free speech with societal harm. Late-night hosts had a field day with the story, turning MTG's latest video into a comedic goldmine, while political satirists used the opportunity to expose the absurdity of her rhetoric and the dangerous simplicity with which complex issues are reduced to a US versus them narrative. Yet beneath the humour lies a sobering truth. Figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene thrive in a media ecosystem designed to reward outrage and sensationalism, where nuanced debate is often sacrificed for clicks and shares. This cycle not only distorts public understanding, but also entrenches divisions, making compromise and dialogue increasingly elusive. The chapter also explores how MTG's ability to dominate headlines, even when faced with bipartisan criticism and attempts at censure, reveals much about the fractured state of American politics, where polarization is a currency and controversy an asset. In essence, Marjorie Taylor Greene's latest episode is a microcosm of a larger cultural moment marked by mistrust, misinformation, and media sensationalism, offering both a cautionary tale and a compelling drama that continues to unfold in real time, captivating audiences who are both horrified and entertained by the spectacle. The viral nature of the controversy underscores the power of digital platforms to amplify fringe voices, sometimes at the expense of truth and reason, highlighting an urgent need for media literacy and responsible consumption in an era where anyone with a microphone can become a kingmaker or chaos agent. As the dust settles on this chapter of MTG's headline-grabbing saga, the country remains deeply divided, with little indication that the cycle of outrage and viral dumbassery will abate anytime soon, making it clear that this controversial figure will continue to be a lightning rod for cultural battles and political theatre in the years ahead. As we reach the climax of this wild political saga, it's impossible not to step back and truly grasp what these events reveal about the current state of our culture and democracy. A landscape dominated by chaos, tribalism, and the viral amplification of outrage, where figures like Trump, the new Pope, and Marjorie Taylor Greene are not just individuals, but symbols of a fractured society craving spectacle as much as substance. This isn't simply about one trade agreement or a single viral moment, but about how the modern media ecosystem, driven by clicks, shares, and instant reactions, rewards the most shocking, polarizing voices, fueling a never-ending cycle where truth often takes a backseat to theatrics, and complex realities get flattened into viral sound bites and memes that spread like wildfire. The entire controversy surrounding Trump's trade deal, the MAGA base's explosive reactions to the new Pope, and MTG's relentless antics all underscore a deeper cultural moment defined by distrust, misinformation, and a hunger for simplistic narratives that confirm pre-existing beliefs rather than challenge them. This volatile mix creates fertile ground for manipulation, where political figures exploit outrage to consolidate power, and audiences become trapped in echo chambers that reinforce division rather than encourage understanding. As we reflect on these moments, it's clear that what we're witnessing is more than just headline-grabbing drama. It's a reflection of a society at a crossroads, struggling to reconcile tradition with progress, certainty with complexity, and unity with division. The viral nature of these stories isn't accidental. It's a direct consequence of the new rules of engagement in digital culture, where emotions trump facts, and engagement metrics dictate what rises to prominence. This shift demands that we all become more critical consumers of information, questioning not only what we see, but why we see it, and recognizing the forces that shape the narratives presented to us. It also places enormous responsibility on creators, platforms, and public figures to resist the temptation of sensationalism in favor of truth and nuance, though as the recent patterns show, this is easier said than done in an environment that prizes immediacy over accuracy. Yet, within this chaos lies an opportunity, a chance for us to demand better, to hold powerful voices accountable, and to foster conversations that bridge divides rather than widen them. As the dust settles on the spectacle, viewers like you hold the key to breaking the cycle by choosing to engage thoughtfully, seek multiple perspectives, and reject the allure of outrage as entertainment. This is the moment to rise above the noise, to challenge ourselves and others to look deeper, and to insist that the stories we tell reflect the complexity of the world we live in. If you found value in this deep dive into the most explosive and viral stories shaping our political and cultural landscape, I invite you to join this community by hitting that subscribe button, because here at Heroic Beats, we're committed to bringing you unfiltered, insightful, and fearless commentary that goes beyond the headlines. Don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family who crave the real story behind the viral moments, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in this conversation. Together, we can navigate this turbulent era with clarity and courage, transforming outrage into understanding and division into dialogue. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay critical, and as always, stay heroic.